What's up, everyone? It's Bob and Chris here with the Join or Die podcast. I know it's been a couple weeks since our last show, but we do have a couple shorts on there that Chris put up. I was lacking, and if you haven't seen the one, Chris was in a pretty bad car accident. He's back.
God was blessed. God blessed me that day.
He definitely had
I'm
an angel on the shoulder.
Yeah, I'm hurting.
Yeah. But we're here. It is the Sunday before Election Day. You might, hopefully, you notice in the video, we actually have some more lighting. If not, we'll mess with that next time whenever we do the next show. But today, we're gonna drink some Yangling Oktoberfest.
Pennsylvania beer. Pennsylvania's big state.
Pennsylvania beer.
Big state.
Pennsylvania is huge. Big part of the election. Who can possibly win it, or who is going to win it? Not possibly. Someone's going to win. Not election night though. Now it's election month. Pennsylvania's terrible as far as counting early votes. I don't think they're not even allowed to open up envelopes. Yeah. Well, they're allowed to open up the envelopes, but they're not allowed to start counting until 8 when the polls close.
Yeah, well, didn't the GOP take, or what was it? They sent something to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court? They were making some kind of argument about early voting, or I forget what it was, but they made some kind of argument about the voting.
With the one that they just won?
I thought
recently, because I know that because there was an issue with polls closing early, and they fought to have them opened up later. I think it was Friday at 5 p.m. was the last that you can early vote in person, which I didn't really understand. I didn't vote earlier. I did think about it, getting a mail in.
Yeah, I'm voting Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm voting on Tuesday. Not because I necessarily think that it's going that there's fraud. I think it's great that we're voting early because if you look, a lot of the polls, like in a lot of the swing states, especially, Republicans have a lead on the early vote, and that's not.
I think that's no, not at all. Usually the Democrats are out early, and that's why they usually look like they're smoking us because they're out early. Now it's not that much of a gap, which leads me to believe that Republicans or whoever's voting for Trump, that they are out voting early because they are fucking pissed.
They're out voting early.
They want, yeah. I think they're in it to win it this time.
Republican registration has been up in Pennsylvania, and I think in most of the swing states. I think Arizona had a pretty big Republican registration. Their Republican numbers were up pretty heavily.
I think so, but I'm always worried about Maricopa County. That seems to be a shit show.
Yeah, well, you got Maricopa County, you got Philly in Pennsylvania. Forget about Philly. Maricopa is a shit show. What is it in Illinois? Cook County. Yeah, I mean, those are your counties that probably not going to win. Some scandalous things go on in Maricopa. Philly, Republicans aren't going to win Philly, like, probably ever.
No, and with Michigan, you have Detroit, which is, I think, in Wayne County. But, I mean, it's if you can get those suburban counties out, people leaving the city, going out to the suburbs, and then, Trump's in Lidditz, PA, Lancaster. So, I mean, I had this conversation with my wife earlier. I said, he's probably going to lose the 3 big counties in Pennsylvania, which are Philly, Allegheny, which is Pittsburgh, and the surrounding areas, and Montgomery County. But then, if he wins Bucks, it's almost I don't want to say it's a complete sweep after that, but you know how the rest of the state is. I mean, after Bucks, you have Delco and Chester, which I think you'll split 50-50. I think Delco will go red, Chester will stay blue. But then you're looking at all, for people who aren't from Pennsylvania, once you start going north of Montgomery and Bucks County, you have Berks, Lehigh, Carbon County, which are the Poconos. That's the area where everybody starts going hunting. That's and then you start going out west, or middle state PA, Dauphin County, and all those counties, which is like Pennsatucky. I mean, it gets extremely red. So the reason why Bucks is so important is you don't want him to be able to take. You don't want Harris to be able to take the top 4 population size counties, because that's the type. Philly, Allegheny, Montgomery, and Bucks in that order are the 4 biggest. So if we can steal Bucks County, that's 640 something thousand people. So if you can twist that and we can win this county, it's a big win. It's a big win.
But Bucks County is
it's like a 50-50 area too.
You think it's 50-50?
It used to be 48-52, I think, blue now. So for everybody who was watching when Trump went to McDonald's, that's this area. And This area in Bucks County, like lower area of Bucks, the central Bucks, it's a very split area. I would actually say it's more red than blue, this area. It's when you start getting more into the upper Bucks County area of Doylestown,
Yeah.
and Buckingham and stuff like that, it gets a little more blue.
A little lower.
But that's also a less populated area down as opposed to central and lower Bucks, because that's right outside of Philly. So a lot of people who want to leave Philly because of all the problems but can't afford the uppity areas, they move to lower Bucks or central Bucks, and that tends to be a little bit more red.
Now, if you look at Real Clear Politics on their page, it's actually a pretty cool website. You can go there, you can pull up an electoral map, you can do your own map if you want, and you can pull up polls and go by the polls, the most recent polls. And the most recent poll, the Real Clear Politic average for Pennsylvania, they got Trump up 0.3. So it's 48.3 to Harris's 48. Now that's taken on. If you look at this, you can see right here, Real Clear Politics average.
Okay.
And this is just Pennsylvania, and then all these other ones are all different polls. So you got the New York Times poll; they have it as a tie. Atlas Intel +2 for Trump. Muhlenberg College +2 for Harris.
But last time, so what was it in 2020? I think Biden had it by
we can do that.
Right?
We can do that. We can go look at 2020. So if we pull up 2020, I got to figure out how to do it. Let's do 2020.
But the good thing is, if he's this close now, if it's within a fraction of a percentage, like you're talking about whatever it was, a half a percentage or 0.3%, if Biden had a 4 or 5% lead in 2020, and now we're talking about a fraction of a percent, as long as there's no 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, goings on, he should win Pennsylvania. I mean, I don't want to say handily, but I mean, it's not out of the realm that he can win Pennsylvania by 6 digits.
It's not out of the realm. I'm still sticking with.
Do you think he's going to lose it?
I don't trust Pennsylvania. After the last election, I don't trust it to be fair.
Oh,
I don't.
That's what people keep saying. Do you think he's going to win Pennsylvania? Do you think he's going to win? I'm like, are we counting cheating or no? if it's a straight up fair, he's going to beat her, and I think beat her well. I mean, I don't know how much, the entire country is going to be, they are going to be out in full force.
Yeah.
But now the difference is they are going to, one, we're looking for them to cheat.
2020.
And they're going to have to cheat bigger, hugely than they did in 2020 with more eyes on them. Mm-hmm. So how do you get away with it if you're her now?
I think it's harder to get away with.
Because everybody's really, really looking now.
I don't put it past. I definitely think it's harder. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, I'm trying to find the Pennsylvania.
This is an interesting one, too, Nevada.
Nevada is interesting. Now, what I'm looking at now is 2020. I'm sorry, I am looking now. So, they got Harris up 1.8.
And again, if Trump's out there, Nevada, especially Vegas, Reno, that's all service workers. Mm-hmm. And when he's talking about taking tax off tips, that could be a huge. I mean, these people live on their tips. So, shit, you're a bartender or a waitress. I mean, a dealer.
Yeah.
I mean, these people kind of rely on that stuff. So, I mean, if he can, holy shit, Nevada, how many points is Nevada? What's it like? 10, what is it, 10, 11? It's not a ton.
I think it might be 10, is 6.
So, Jesus.
Six,
that's a
12
point, that's a 12-point swing.
6 in Nevada, that's big.
It's a 12-point swing.
Yeah. So, it's kind of weird. Like, now, I just started messing with this Real Clear Politics website today, literally before we started recording this. So I'm not an expert on this. And I wish I was a little bit more, because I would actually pull up what I'm looking at so you guys, if I was an expert and I knew how to navigate this, I would pull up so you guys can see what I'm looking at. But right now I pulled up it's a create your own 2024 map, and it automatically just loaded up states I'm guessing this is based on the polls, but according to this,
3/4 of the country is red, of
And
course.
it says 287 Trump to Harrison Walsh's 251. And it looks like they gave Pennsylvania to Trump, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota.
Yeah, so that's kind of weird. So he's, of course, it looks at the entire Pacific coast is blue. So you got California, Oregon, Washington's blue. New Mexico and Colorado are blue. They're going to stay blue. I'm not arguing that. Nevada, they have red. I think Nevada is in play.
I'll tell you what. You know what, dude? I'll just pull it up on the screen and we'll mess around with it. And so people can at least see what we're doing. All right, so here we go. We're on the map now. This is what we're looking at. When I went to create your own map, it automatically populated these numbers and who gets what state. And look at the top, it looks like it's Trump's winning 287 and 251. Now, when you look at this map, it looks like it could possibly be the truth. Obviously, these West Coast, these
Right.
coastal states, they're
blue.
they're solid blue. They got Minnesota as blue. That's absolutely, I think, true. Wisconsin is contested. Michigan is contested by Chris. I think he's going to lose Michigan, but I can see him. Between Wisconsin and Michigan, if I was going to pick one of them, I know I was always
more of a
leaning.
Wisconsin
I'm
guy.
always
Yeah.
leaning more to Wisconsin, but I kind of wouldn't be surprised if he won Michigan. This is where I'm kind of like, I'm not buying it. The
You
Pennsylvania.
don't think Pennsylvania?
I don't trust. Like I said earlier, I don't trust the election process in Pennsylvania. He's up 0.3 on the polls. Now, he's traditionally underestimated in all polls.
Right.
So that 0.3 could be +2 or 3. Who knows? I hope it is. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong. But, yeah, I don't know. Everything else, I think he's winning Georgia. I think he's going to win
Yeah, I
Georgia.
don't know if I trust Fulton County. We do have a Republican governor there, so I just wanted to be fair. We were talking earlier about Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think it will go red.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with Arizona. I think there's too much bullshit going on in Arizona.
All right, let's play with Arizona then. Arizona goes blue.
Not because they went blue. I think there's too much bullshit with the border.
But either way,
it's going to go blue. I think it's going to go blue.
So let's go
I don't think
Arizona
it should.
blue. Arizona blue. He's at 276 and 262. All right. Let's for let's say he loses Nevada.
Okay. Which I don't think he will. I think that tips thing we were talking about earlier with, the tips and being this is Vegas and Reno are big service areas.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can, but let's just worst case scenario loses it.
Still wins by 2. 270, 268. If he gets Pennsylvania. Now, as I said months ago, he only needs to win one of these 4 states. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. He only needs to win one of them. Let's say he loses Pennsylvania and he wins Wisconsin.
We're losing.
We lose 277 to 261.
But he wins Michigan.
That's because
But if he wins Michigan.
because we're saying he lost Nevada.
Right.
And
I cannot see him winning Wisconsin and Michigan and losing Pennsylvania. I don't see how that theory would work.
all right, well, let's say he wins Arizona because I think he's going to win
I don't
Arizona.
think he's going to win it. I think there's too much cheating going on with
He's
all
272 to 266.
So
Let's say-
Virginia, you think he's
Let's
gonna
say he
win?
loses Arizona, wins Nevada. 267.
I think that's more
271.
likely.
You think he'll win Nevada, lose Arizona?
I think he will. Like I said, I don't. I think Arizona is actually going to win. But when I say win, I mean like if it's fair. But all the bullshit that's happened over 4 years with illegals and that governor who's a piece of garbage, I don't trust her, and I don't trust Maricopa County. I think it's gonna wind up being blue, whether it's fair or not.
If we go back to how this map was when we first went up there, Arizona was red, Nevada was likely red. They were likely red, not solid red, okay? And they had Pennsylvania likely red, and they had Wisconsin likely blue. And this was 287 to 251.
And I agree. I don't think Virginia is going to be red. I think it's going to stay blue.
I think Virginia, out of Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia, I think Virginia would probably stay blue. They do have.
So where are we at?
It was a Youngkin.
Youngkin.
287 to 251.
All right. I don't. So just do this for me. Arizona goes blue.
Arizona goes blue.
Michigan goes red.
Michigan goes red.
And I don't trust Georgia. Turn Georgia blue. Where are we at?
Georgia goes blue. 275, 263. You like that?
I think that's more. I think it's likely. I think North Carolina stays red because of we were talking earlier about the hurricane. I think they're gonna. I think that pissed a lot of people off. I think they're gonna stay red. We were talking New Hampshire's a chance they could flip. It's a big libertarian. It's a big libertarian state. I can't see the small L libertarians voting for Harris at all. So I think that could happen. I think he could win New Hampshire.
So he wins. He wins New Hampshire. She wins Nevada and Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
He still wins 273 to 265.
Mm-hmm. I think that's realistic. I think it's realistic.
Okay. All right. What happens when we get a tie?
How the hell will we get a tie? Let's see. So she would get Rhode Island.
She already has Rhode Island, right?
I'm sorry, not Rhode Island. New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. No, okay. So she gets New Hampshire.
How the hell will we get a tie? Oh my God!
Oh, there we go. It's 269 to 269. What happens now?
How the hell is that? Can you imagine? And dude, this is kind of possible.
It is possible.
Looking at, oh my God,
it is
gotta
possible.
be kidding.
Because there's no guarantee that New Hampshire will flip to red and it stays blue. We're 269 at the map we're looking at.
And they have Maine and New Hampshire.
And that's him winning Pennsylvania and Michigan.
Which is completely possible.
It's possible.
He could win Wisconsin.
He could, but now
I just don't think he is.
But now, what happens when there's a tie? Isn't she the tie-breaking vote?
No, you can't.
Well, it goes into Congress, and then if they're gonna tie.
Well, we have Congress.
Oh, well, let's see.
You're right. No, you're thinking the Senate. If the Senate, I believe the vice president has the last say in the Senate. She's the tiebreaker.
Congress is both.
different.
Congress is the House and.
It's the lower house. The Senate's the upper
What
house.
happens in a presidential
election tie?
Electoral tie. Here we go. I knew it was going to be like the first one. What we got?
Oh my God. Oh, there's 269. It just came up. Go up to the top one. Yeah.
That's a sponsor.
Oh.
Who cares? I'm still going to do it.
Oh my God.
It's very likely.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
That would mean that neither Kamala Harris or Donald Trump will lock in the toss-up race. Wins enough. Okay, this hasn't happened in modern American. Blah 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 blah. But if this year's election did end in 269, the U.S. Constitution does have a plan for what happens next. Experts and scholars point to Article 2 of the Constitution. Ultimately, she said the election moves to the U.S. House of Representatives, where the newly elected members of Congress would have to be sworn in and then vote on who becomes president.
Well, we have what's that?
Well,
mean?
this is newly.
What the hell does newly mean?
That would mean, I guess,
what
from this election.
Oh my God! Well, we still have Congress, right?
Well, as of now,
I feel like we need a mulligan. This needs to be a do-over. You can't just give it to. Oh my God! Now hold on. Now we're going to trust Congress.
Yeah. Ultimately, she said the election moves to the U.S. House of Representatives, where the newly elected members of Congress would have to be sworn in and then vote on who becomes president. The way this would work is that each state, regardless of the size of the state's delegation, gets one vote. One vote. So, I don't know if they would.
Oh, well, then we would win because we have the majority of the states.
Right now. Because it is unlikely third party, blah, 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 blah.
There's way more red states than blue. It's like at least 2/3 to 1/3.
Constitution says you need a majority of the House delegations. So that would be 26 House delegations. Republicans currently have an edge if it were to come to this, because the party right now has control of 26 U.S. House delegates and the Democrats control 22.
How many do we have?
26.
And they have 22?
Yeah.
Dude, this will be a war if this happened. No matter who wins.
I mean, the odds of that, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's possible.
I didn't think there was going to be a pandemic that shut the world down.
It's possible.
I didn't think he'd be shot at. There's a lot of shit I didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah.
Who has this on their bingo card?
All right, let's get this off the screen. We're back. All right, so that'll be crazy. Let's hope it doesn't go to a 269 vote. Although, from what we just read, that would we would benefit in that situation.
Let's not come to that.
But if it does, let's just whoop the ass. Let's just whoop the ass. 287 to 251.
I don't need it overtime. I don't want walk-off home runs. I want this finished.
Yeah. But either way, anybody's watching this, comment down below what you think is the possibility and with the likely scenario. I kind of feel as soon as you pulled that up, when we pulled up that map and it was based off of all the polls, and it was 287 to 251, something like that. It was it was an ass whooping.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen either. But either way, Tuesday should be interesting, and make sure you get out and vote if you didn't vote already. Don't vote twice. The other party does that, and I guess we'll see.
We'll see you probably next week.
Yeah, we'll see. Well,
we'll probably do some shorts on
next
it.
week.
Who the hell?
I don't know. It's not going to be November 6th, most likely.
I guess depending upon what happens Tuesday night,
let's hope
what we're going to do.
Let's hope Pennsylvania doesn't pull their crap like they did last time. Oh, we're going to stop counting ballots, and at like 3:30 in the morning, you saw that upward swing straight up on the
Wisconsin and Michigan.
Too. We'll see. Anyway, we'll be here next week, hopefully. I think I don't have any plans next Sunday. You good next Sunday?
I think I'm good.
We should be good. If not, we'll try to throw in a couple shorts. Go out and vote, and stay safe, everyone. See you next week.